Mel, I did a video a couple of weeks ago about how to wake up at 5 a.m. And
Can you tell me?
no, what? You just told me. What are you talking about? I had just finished reading the 5-second rule, and everyone was asking me how I wake up early in the morning or why I wake up early in the morning. So I was giving a lot of feedback on that. And I had to share your book as a resource because I was thinking, well, do I really need this? I'm pretty activated. Like, I don't know if I need it, but I think it'd be good for me to read this because this is one of the most trending books right now, so I should know what's going on. I loved it, even just feeling like I know my goals, I'm pretty focused. I felt so activated by it. And so I shared it in that video, so I was like, oh my gosh, this is really cool, because everybody's kind of picking up the book now and they're like, it's changing my life, and I know you've heard that a million times about the 5-second rule by now. But what I find interesting is sort of that next step. What's so cool about the 5-second rule, and what I have found in just life in general, is that there's something so amazing in terms of relief that you can take one small step or do something practical, learn something practical, and make so much happen.
Yep.
The 5-second rule is like that first step.
It's a tool. Like
Right.
here's the thing. I think everybody. So this is what you need to know. Every one of us pretty much knows the little stuff we need to do, but we don't know how to make ourselves do it.
Right.
When you don't feel like it, when you doubt yourself, when you're terrified, when you're afraid of what your friends think, when you're worried about what your parents are going to do if you do this thing.
Right.
You know what to do. You don't know how to make yourself push through the excuses. And there's literally always going to be an excuse.
Always.
Always. And so the trick to beating any excuse is using the 5-second rule, which is you start counting backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The moment you feel the doubt, the moment you feel the fear, the moment you feel like, I don't want to get out of fucking bed, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you actually switch gears in your brain. And by the time you hit 1, your prefrontal cortex is activated. And that's the part of the brain that you need awake and paying attention in order to change, in order to speak with courage, in order to take a risk, in order to learn anything new. So that's why it works for getting out of bed. And most people learn it and then they start using it to push themselves to do things that are really annoying.
Right.
Like exercising, getting up on time, not drinking that much, eating healthy, speaking up at work, asking for a raise, starting that business. But then you go into the cooler things to use it for, which is your mindset. And whether or not you listen to the bullshit that you have been listening to in your own head.
Well, and that's what I want to ask you about it, because there's waking up at 5 a.m. And there's a lot of people watching my channel that have said, oh, this has changed everything. I wake up early. But then they wake up and they're like very excited they're out of bed. And it's a good moment to have that. You have that one small win. But that's when the self-doubt and sort of the issues of taking the second step and the third step start to sink in again.
Yes.
And I just am curious to hear, like, how have you observed these like small steps that people can take, and what are those next things? You wake up in the morning and then you start telling yourself, great, I'm up, but I don't know if I'm worthy to go after the life that I want. I don't know if I want to do this thing or pursue this goal because I don't know if I can.
Okay, so here's the thing I want you to understand. You don't have self-doubt.
Okay.
You have a habit of doubting yourself.
I love that.
And the reason why it's important to label any fucking thinking pattern that you have as a habit is because it is just a pattern. Now, you may have learned this pattern from your mother, from your father, from some dipshit teacher that trashed you. You may be a victim of sexual abuse like I was when I was little. You may have had terrible things happen to you. You may have had some dirtbag tell you that you were unworthy and you started to believe it. But I'm here to tell everybody that any thinking pattern that you have is simply a habit. And habits are stored right here. And what is great news about the fact that self-doubt is just a habit is that you can use science to break the habit. And so what's super cool is, start using the 5-second rule to push your ass out of bed and to put down the croissant and to walk away from the Manhattan, because you've already had one tonight or whatever it may be. or not pick up the smokes when you and your girlfriends are out drinking and you're one of those party smokers, but you don't want to do it because you hate how your tongue feels in the morning or whatever it may be. But then what I want you to do is I want you to actually police your thoughts, because your thoughts drift. Nobody intentionally wakes up and says, today, I'm going to think only shitty things about myself. Those thoughts drift when you're not paying attention. And so you can go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, awaken your prefrontal cortex, interrupt the habit of doubting yourself or saying you're unworthy, and boom, once you hit 1, you've actually already taken action that is completely different than stopping to think. You've taken action by counting.
I love how you just put that. I've never put it that way. You are only saying these things to yourself, this negative self-talk, these negative thoughts, because you're not paying attention.
Yeah, and somebody taught you to do this.
Yeah.
You know, as I learned to suck my thumb when I was little.
Right.
Very soothing. Actually, it wasn't even my thumb, it was these two fingers. I'm not flipping you off. But I mean, these two puppies, since I was 11, weird. It was a habit.
Weird.
That I learned. Probably learned it by either watching other kids or whatever.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Who you surround yourself with, what's happening around you, you observe it, you follow. We're all little monkeys.
I wish that when I was your age, I knew that I wasn't stuck with the things that I thought. I only learned this 4 years ago. And when you understand that you can control what you think about, you can't control what's happening. You can't control what other people are doing. You can't control, like, really anything that's going on around you. But you can always choose what you think about next. Always. And so you are not a victim. You may have been victimized, but you are not a victim, because you can always catch yourself saying bullshit and go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and take control of what you're actually going to think next. And when you understand that in your bones, you will know the secret to actually speaking your truth. You will know the secret to finding the courage to live your life in a way that expresses your highest self and your highest purpose. You will find the courage to say no to people. And so I think it starts with push yourself out of bed and get control of some of your actions. And then what you will start to learn is how to actually use this simple 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 form of metacognition to train your own mind to think totally differently.
Mel, do you still sometimes have to count down from 5 to get out of bed?
Every single morning. I'll tell you why. I hate getting out of bed.
Me too.
I fucking hate it. And so I've been using this every morning for 9 years. And I want you to understand, just because you hate it doesn't mean you can't do it. And there may be things that you will have to do for the rest of your life. I include putting away dishes. I hate that. I don't mind loading the dishwasher.
Yeah,
I hate putting away
I'm
clean
with
dishes.
you.
I don't mind doing the laundry. I hate folding laundry and putting it away. I hate getting out of bed. I hate stopping after one Manhattan. I hate exercising. These are things I've done for, almost 9 years. I still hate it.
You don't
so
have
you
to be
can
an
hate
exercise
it and
person.
do it. Yes.
Right. You don't have to be a folding laundry person. You definitely don't have to be a morning person. You just
And you can still
have
get
to
up.
get up.
Exactly.
I love that. Thank you, Mel.
My pleasure.